Hey, Aaron, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. I am not in a Panera in the good old state of Texas right now, but I'm above my garage. Go Chiefs. How are you doing?
I'm in Arlington where the Cowboys lost really bad last night.
Woo! Man, I kind of feel like
rubbing it in a little bit.
Yeah, we want you to say it louder so people get mad at you at Panera.
No, this place is packed, actually. There's a lot of people, a lot more people than in our Paneras in here.
Well, leave it to you. I know you run Lily and James Creative, so your lighting always looks good. So kudos to you.
I'm at Panera.
Yeah. Well,
it's real hard work for me.
I bet Evardy Construction and Bestway International are pretty happy that you're always on top of your game. You look great.
Thanks, Scott. How you been?
Doing good. I went to the classroom where Aaron Fulk spoke at the University of Kansas. So did a little back-to-back, 150 kids per class at the business school, and just trying to mold some young minds. I think speaking of schools, they're doing a much better job of networking their students in the community. So I think I was really happy with it. How's your day going?
Speaking of KU, if anybody has KU basketball hookup tickets for the T-Mobile game, you would be my son's hero. He keeps texting me, do you know anyone in KU? Do we know anyone in KU? Well, you don't know anyone. So I just got a text right before we got on here. Did you know that KU's playing at T-Mobile next week?
I did not know that. I was thinking you were seeing the Big 12 tournament, but I did not know. Who are we playing?
No, next week.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah, so all of the KU people watching, so I just need 3 tickets. Okay, look, Paul is here with his weekly joke. Are you ready for it?
Yes.
He said he is watching from a turkey blind, hoping to shoot next week's dinner. I shouldn't have said that on social. Anyways, if you are here watching, let us know if you're watching from LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook. Let us know if you're watching live or the replay. We'd love to pull up people's comments. Nobody gets pulled up more than Paul Vogel, though, because he's here weekly. So.
Who's the best?
I feel like I can't be super loud. I feel like
you can't be. So I'll be super loud. Okay. But obviously, Erin is down in Texas training a new hire with the growth of her organization, but who's also growing is Bestway International. So if you're moving products, especially internationally at the end of the year, that's who you should be talking to. And it's really cool with Evardy Construction. We have a guest on the show today that works a lot or has worked a lot with Evardy. So they are building stuff anywhere and everywhere in the metro. So really happy for Evardy. But, I always tell Evardy, we change the whole show around so our colors match their brand.
Do you know what I was thinking too? On the Bestway International stuff, there's all this random speculation on what tariffs might be, what all the shipping might be. So it's good to get in with a company like Bestway International right now because they're going to be the experts in that space. There was a big article that came out today. Did you see it about all the companies that are saying we're going to raise our prices and this and that and this and that? And so you're going to want to get with a company like Bestway International to help you navigate that.
Yes, absolutely, Aaron. You are spot on. I don't need nothing to add there. You got it.
I know. People are always surprised when I'm a little smart. It's shocking. So
well, the
social media girl.
No, you're incredibly brilliant. Just the freight side, it's unique. And funny enough, Bestway International literally specializes in a lot of international freight and in tariffs. So that's perfectly well said.
Awesome. Okay. Here's the thing. This is what I want to tell people, and then we're bringing our guest in. We will have a show next week, but the following week is Giving Tuesday. We are going to have a special Giving Tuesday show with 4 different nonprofit organizations. It's going to be an hour-long show, and you're going to want to be here because these are some amazing organizations. So make sure you especially tune in on Giving Tuesday, so 2 weeks from today. But still come back next week because you're going to be kind of overworking by that point because you have Thursday off for sure. Wednesday's a wash, right? So make sure this is like your end of the day Tuesday next week, but 2 weeks from now, our Giving Tuesday show is going to be huge. All right, why don't we bring in our guest?
Sometimes you feel like the wind is behind you, and I think it's because of our guests. They're both very, very talented, so I'm excited.
Okay. I don't know what that meant, but here we go. Worst music in the history of social media business shows on LinkedIn. Our first guest is, I'm so quiet. Our first guest is Amanda.
Yay!
Our guest is Travis.
Travis!
Hi guys, how are you? Thank you so much for being on today.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us. Good to see you guys.
So we're so excited. So Amanda, we'll start with you. Who are you? What do you do? And how do you get to Kansas City?
Sure. My name's Amanda Myers, and I'm the employment coordinator at Down Syndrome Innovations. We're located in the Kansas City area, and I'm originally from Wichita, Derby to be specific, if you know where that is. And then I went to college at K-State, so sorry for KU fans. I went to college at K-State, and then my husband and I went to Vancouver, British Columbia. So we lived in Canada for a few years. And then we moved back home. Kansas City just felt like home because it's kind of halfway between our families. His is in Omaha and mine's in Derby, and Kansas City is just a fun place to be. We have Travis, we have Taylor, we're on top of the world right now. So no, it's fun.
Scott took me to see Taylor's house on the golf course the other day.
What?
Not to be confused with this Travis, right?
It could have been your house, and you could be living with Taylor Swift. We just don't know that. But Travis, you've played hole number 5 at Holbrook many times. So Aaron was there on the golf course checking out Travis Kelsey's house and Taylor's house. Now, Amanda, I had a question before the show, but it kind of dives into your business. I asked a question that I thought Kansas had a 3-year wait list for someone with needs to be in your facility, to be in your organization, but it's actually much longer than that. Can you explain what I meant by asking you the 3-year timeline?
Yeah, so a lot of individuals with diverse abilities are on wait list right now for waiver services for just to receive benefits that they need to live independently and for employment. And so a lot of individuals are sitting on wait list, just trying to get those services that they need, which is why our organization exists, is to really help fill the gaps where people aren't receiving the services they need. And they're able to come to us and receive those services, because we're philanthropy funded and donor funded. And a huge shout out to Evardy, one of your sponsors, because they built our beautiful lifelong learning campus that we have. So yeah, it really, that's kind of why we exist, is to kind of fill the gaps for people that aren't receiving the services that they need. But we're all working on it. We're working with government systems to really get those numbers down, get the wait list down. So yeah, we're working on it. It takes all of us working together. So
can I ask a dumb question?
Mm-hmm.
Why is the wait list so long? And how does the wait list move? Like, do people have to go on to their next life? Or is it like a technological thing? Is it a funding thing? 11 years feels long.
Yeah, so in Kansas, at least for the IDD waiver, which is intellectual and developmental disability waiver, it's over 10 years for the wait list. And a lot of it is funding and resources and access and families knowing what to ask for and getting on those wait lists early on when their kids are really young. So a lot of it's kind of a compounded issue, and kind of there's a lot of different reasons for it being so long, but everyone's really working hard to make sure people have access to the benefits they need. So we're working on it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah.
All right, Travis, not Kelsey, Travis G. I don't know your last name. It just says G down here.
Gage.
So tell us your last name. What is it?
Gage, Gage.
kind of like Kelsey. I get it. People can
Close.
confuse that.
Close.
Okay. Who are you? What do you do? And how do you get to Kansas City?
Yeah, well, thank you guys for having me on the show. I'm Travis Gage with CBRE Group. I grew up in Lawrence, Kansas, my whole life. I made a major leap of faith with my college decision and decided to attend the University of Kansas. So after 4 years at KU, 22 straight years in Lawrence was more than enough for me. And I was ready to get out. I took the first opportunity that I had in commercial real estate, which was working with a private equity firm on the West Coast that was a family office owned real estate assets kind of throughout the Western United States, bounced around between Sacramento. They were headquartered in San Francisco, so was there for a bit. Spent some time in Albuquerque, El Paso, and finally ended up in Houston, kind of on a more long-term basis with them. We were doing everything for Berkeley, including, property management, leasing, project management for, multi-tenant industrial, light industrial, and office portfolios that they own. So that's kind of where I cut my teeth. Once I was in Houston, I really started trying to chase what I'd always wanted to do, which is what I do now, which is brokerage. I applied for a ton of jobs with a ton of different companies, but always had a soft spot and a preference for CBRE. We're the biggest provider of third-party commercial real estate services in the world. So anyway, I was able to get a position on our GWS platform, which is Global Workplace Solutions, which I'm sure means absolutely nothing to you. But what it means is that we service one particular client. So I worked there on the McKesson account for a couple of years and looked for opportunities to start brokerage. Things came together and found one back in Kansas City, and been here ever since. Made that transition in 2014. So it's been a really fun and exciting 10 years, getting reacclimated with this city, and kicking off, the beginning of hopefully a long career.
How much of what you do today is local and then national? Because I would feel like it's a mix because your company touches so many parts of the country.
Yeah, it's a good question, Scott. Like I was telling you earlier, the coverage of CBRE and the size gives us the opportunity to help serve clients in really every major market you can imagine and across the world. So I'm probably about 50-50 with what I do, specifically in Kansas City, directly for Kansas City clients, and outside of Kansas City with, a number of different clients that have geographically dispersed portfolios of real estate, and need service, really anywhere across the country.
That is a very, very diversified portfolio. That's really cool. All right, Amanda, my question to you is, what is the most pivotal point in your career?
Yeah, so my career, I got my degree in counseling and I worked in mental health for a long time. And then when we moved to Vancouver, British Columbia, I worked in a temporary job for a year, just filling a maternity leave, and I worked in human resources. And I would say that was a pivotal point in my career because I realized I was not meant for a desk job and I could not that was not a job that was a good fit for me, and I admire all the people that are in HR because it's tough work. But that was pivotal for me because I realized how important employment is in our life and how important it is to be in the right job, right? And in the right environment. And then I started talking with my best friend, and she worked for this Developmental Disabilities Association in Vancouver, and they did employment. So they worked with employers in Vancouver to help them run more efficiently. So they found needs in companies. Starbucks was one, for example, that we worked with. And they found that this was before mobile apps were a thing, before like mobile orders, that customers were leaving because they were waiting so long in lines during rush hours. And so what we did is we helped them create a cafe attendant position where someone could refill sugars and creams and do the tables and the dishes. And that way the baristas could actually stay making their coffee and doing their job and stay at the cash register. And they found that that location produced more revenue than any other location. and then it just became a staple across Vancouver Starbucks, and it actually made its way down the West Coast in the States. So that was such a light bulb moment for me, where I really wanted to help companies run more efficiently, and then also help individuals get in the right job and make sure that people were kind of optimizing their skills and building capacity, and using a strengths-based approach. And then when we moved back here, I started building out the employment program at Down Syndrome Innovations, and it just took off because it was after COVID. Everyone was like super short-staffed, and we work with the Kansas City Chiefs. We do work with the Kansas City Royals, the Kansas City Current. We have about 20 people that work at each of those locations, scanning tickets and working in the club level suites, doing the environmental team and everything. And then we work with lots of restaurants, hotels, and real estate agencies, banks all across the Kansas City area, and just trying to get people in the right jobs in Kansas and Missouri. So, yeah.
Man, way to crush that answer on perfect timing. Aaron, do you have a quick question?
No,
Okay.
I love the efficiency piece. That was great.
Yeah, because you went a little short in the first answer, and the second answer is perfect. You explained
thank
everything.
you.
So, Travis, tough act to follow, but what was the most pivotal point in your career?
So Amanda just mentioned it, and I bet you get this one a lot, but I think it, impacted me and, my industry really more than any others, but it was COVID. By trade, my business is representing companies and owners of office properties. So as you can imagine, during COVID, that was probably the least desirable type of investments or really thing that anyone was focusing on at all. In fact, as somebody that specifically focuses on office spaces, I wasn't even allowed to go into my office due to the corporate policy that my company set forth. After mid-March in 2020, we were at home through the end of that year. So I was at home in my condo in Kansas City trying to find new clients and convince people that the office is still something viable and here to stay. And that was a lonely and trying time and questionable time for, what was going to become of my business and really all that I'd known in my career for, 9 years after having gotten out of college. So staying focused during that period of time and, just being patient was really crucial, helped me learn a lot of patience. That it was a long 9 months for everybody. But, if you look at all the industries that were impacted by it on the outset, between travel, tourism, hospitality, all that's really come back. Sentiment for office space has not. It's changed the way that we've worked, and we're frankly still working through what we were left with after, the massive human experiment that COVID forced us to go through. So it's been a long haul since then, but certainly much more clear as far as, market fundamentals are concerned, as far as where our business is going. So and I think that would be the most pivotal moment.
Do you think you've benefited for being a little bit older as a millennial? Because getting started during the pandemic probably had to be pretty hard. So has that benefited you a little bit, having a little bit more experience than maybe some of the other folks that are in the real estate world?
Selfishly, I'd like to say so, but it was really more of a situation where you're really ramping up and getting into your prime, and then all of a sudden the rug gets pulled out from under you, and everything stops. So being able to weather that, yes, absolutely, it gives you a lot more confidence in what you're doing. That experience, not people have been through cycles before, but it really nothing like what we saw back in 2020. And I'm just glad we were able to weather it.
Yeah, I would imagine the older folks in the office are like, yeah, we've been through cycles, but nothing like this.
Yeah, it's truly amazing, the impacts of it. So,
What's the most wild part is it was almost 5 years ago now.
Wow, that's how this show started. Yeah.
Yeah,
and we still talk about it every day in our world.
Day. Right? In February, it'll be 5 years. That's crazy. Okay, well.
Aaron, we got to go to like lunch or something. Like we should do and then get dessert for like a date.
Okay.
You think that's funny?
Talk about that.
Okay.
I mean, I just
laugh at that.
but yeah, our show.
Yeah,
Well, our show. Our show started in April, so February is not our anniversary. It's April.
Oh, that's why you're not laughing and you're correct. Okay, got it. Okay.
I love that I remember that, but the one marriage anniversary I ever had, I forgot. So that's
Yeah,
great. That was also during
yeah.
COVID, and I forgot it. So okay, here we are. All right, Miss Amanda, how have your 2024 goals turned out, and how can the Kansas City community help you? And what do you got planned for 2025?
Well, our 2024 goals are right on track. We had goals of the number of families that we wanted to serve in the area. We have over 2,000 individuals with Down syndrome in our database that we're serving at different levels. So we kind of see individuals that we are, visiting on a weekly basis or that are coming to our office for various programs. We serve kids, teens, and adults. So we serve a whole lifespan. And we have a whole team of support staff that kind of incorporate every aspect of your life. So mental health, physical health, fitness, occupational therapy, speech, behavior. I do employment, which is just a small portion of what our whole organization does, but we really see the person as a whole. We work with school districts, caregivers, and everyone across the board. So we're on track to meet the goals that we set out this year. And we also serve the entire nation through our teletherapy services. So not just Kansas and Missouri, but the things that we do are can be easily replicated in other states. And we're really looking forward to 2025. We have some big growth plans to serve more people and to make sure that we're working with providers in the community, because it really does take all of us working together instead of, staying in our silos and doing things 2% different. There's over 30 organizations in the Kansas City area that serve people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, which is a lot. So it's great, and we can make a bigger difference if we're all working together. And so we're super excited for what 2025 has in store. And I think for Kansas City, there's a movement right now. You can feel like people wanting to be more inclusive and more provide opportunities for individuals with diverse abilities. And so I would just encourage the Kansas City area, keep providing opportunities for not just individuals with Down syndrome, but other disabilities, to get involved and to really be a part of their community, contribute to their community. They have so much to offer. And a lot of times they make us better, right? They make us better people, better human beings, just by realizing we're all human and we all have things that we can contribute and strengths. So I would just encourage Kansas City, keep rocking it, keep crushing it. And we really have an opportunity to be a leader in this space and make sure that we're as inclusive as possible. And just think outside the box. It doesn't really matter how something gets done. It's just that it does, right? And we all have different abilities. We all learn how to work together. So it shouldn't be any different for this population.
I have a really quick question. Specifically, do you place people at Golden Scoop quite a bit? Because those seem to be growing.
Yeah, we work with the Golden Scoop quite a lot. Lindsay and Amber are great owners. We were just there last week, 3 times last week, actually. We took our employment
easy
class.
On the ice cream.
Oh, well, I didn't eat ice cream every time, but
they have coffee as well.
Yeah, they have coffee.
They strategically placed the new location right across from my daughter's dance place, which is a huge dance place in Miller Marley. And I'm like, oh, well, that's what we do after dance all the time now. So, but we will be doing. So that's nice. And then also, my kids' theater program has this thing called the HARP program. Have you heard of that?
I don't think so.
I should introduce you guys because it's a kids' theater program, but it's for children of all abilities, but it's usually kiddos with Down syndrome. And I just love it because what they do is they're in the whole show, and they get a helper for the show to be in the whole show and enjoy theater like anybody else. And it's a really cool program that's just for kids usually with Down syndrome to be able to be in theater too. So I'll do an introduction on there.
Oh, they love any chance to be on a stage. They're there. Our speech pathologists will do theater just to get them to work on speaking loudly and taking turns. And it's so cool because they don't even realize that they're working on speech, but they will do anything to get on stage.
And selfishly, like my kids are pretty healthy, but selfishly, I feel like it's taught them a lot more empathy, a lot of like they have friends of all different, abilities now because we've been doing this theater program forever. So I love it because I think for all the kids, it's really good, like across
Yeah.
the board. So
And
I'll do
that's
an
great.
intro to them for you because I think that'd be
Thank
awesome for you guys
you.
to know
We would
about
love
them for
that.
sure. All right, Travis G. How are your 2024 goals going? How can the Kansas City community help you, and what are you looking forward to in 2025?
Well, as far as goals from a business perspective, we're told to set production goals simply in the role that we are. So those are going well. Planning on meeting and exceeding those goals that I'd set for myself at the beginning of the year. As far as the Kansas City community helping other goals, I really enjoy the opportunity to get younger people involved in my business. And frankly, kind of curtailing from what I just said, that just really hasn't happened because of the state of the market. So any opportunity to teach younger kids fresh out of college what I do and how I do it, I think is extremely important. I think it just preaches to culture of actually being around other people. So I'd really like to try and find a few young kids out there that are ready to learn more about my industry, because frankly I think it's been lost on a lot of the younger generation that's come out of school during the COVID years. So I'm hoping to have an opportunity to do more of that. And then just in line with what I do, I'm not from Lawrence, but my family, or I'm not from Kansas City, excuse me, but my family is deeply, deeply rooted in the community. My great grandfather was actually the mayor during the 40s from 1940 to 1946, right after Tom Pendergast era in Kansas City. So he was kind of pitted as the cleanup mayor. So, I want to be involved civically. I'm passionate about this city and everything that Amanda just said on how, we're really knocking it out of the park, trying to get involved in that as much as I can. Not only for my business, but any civic opportunity that I have is really what I'm focused on for 25.
So are you physically, like, your house located in Kansas City, Missouri side then?
Not until very
Not yet?
recently. I moved to the Kansas side. I'm in Fairway, so I'm a stone's throw away, but I still own real
You're gonna have to
estate.
move back over there to be a mayor, right?
I don't know
One
if that's
day?
in my future. I'm not coming for the mayor Q. Don't worry. I think he's doing a fantastic
He's done
job.
after this term. He's done after
Yeah.
this term.
Yeah. Well,
We're gonna need someone else.
we'll see. We'll see. I nominate Scott Havens.
No, I think the
Leeway.
Travis's business pays too well. He doesn't want to take a pay cut, but that's really cool.
I didn't know how civically you wanted to get involved.
Yeah, that's really cool. I didn't know that about your family.
Mm-hmm.
So Travis, for 2025, do you have any predictions on the real estate market and what it has in store for us?
Yeah, I think that it's going to continue to improve. I think that right now we're seeing more activity among larger occupiers, tenants in the market than we have since before the pandemic. So that's really exciting to see a lot of these larger companies starting to make decisions about their real estate and really starting to focus on what they want to be going forward, whether it's a one day in the week type of occupier and with a small high quality type of collaboration space, or whether it's we're going to be in the office 5 days a week and we do need workspace for everybody. So there's no one size fits all for any company, and my company tries to help any company understand that. But given everything that I just said, what you've seen in the news about a lot of larger Fortune 500 companies implementing a 3 or 4 or 5 day in the office policy is all sending us signs, along with lower interest rates, that things are certainly improving.
All right. Well, we've got about 30 seconds left. So if you want more information on that, reach out to Travis. We want to thank you guys both so much for coming on. Real quick, while you were talking about anniversaries, Ben said obviously Julie isn't in the audience today.
So I still can't get any anniversary right, whether it's Aaron's or my wife.
And a great episode from Sean. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much to our sponsors. Scott, thank you so much for being a great co-host. And we will see y'all same time, same place next week. Have a great weekend.
Thanks for having us, guys.